Alright, welcome to another video walkthrough. Brad Ward here from Ward's Auctions. Today we're actually at Ward's Auctions / Foothills Auctions. It's going to be a joint venture. This is the Kilips Estate Auction. It's on April 26th on the Saturday. Sale will start at 10 o'clock in the morning, and there'll be a viewing the day before and the Friday before in the afternoon. Watch the website, either wardsauctions.com or foothillsauctions.com. Flyers, pictures, all the rest of it, and there'll be details on there. The building that's right behind me is the only actual building that I can think of that we will be selling in the sale. It was brought in here afterwards and it is quite movable. You'll be able to get the details on that at the sale. We'll show you inside in a little bit. There's going to be 2 rings going all day. One's going to be primarily what Brad Neal likes to call the boy stuff, and then the other one is the girl stuff. It's not exactly like that, but there is everything from soup to nuts in this sale. Radios, tools, collectible stuff, glassware, furniture, 6,000 records, either LPs, etc. We'll get into that later on. We're going to walk you into the first structure, which is the cold room of the property. Now keep in mind that this piece of real estate is for sale as well. It's not part of the auction, but it's part of a farming operation. The homestead is currently in the process of being subdivided off from the main farm. I'm not sure what the details are right now, but maybe we'll get a link for that on the website as well. And behind me here, you can see this the entrance is very well made cold room underneath one of the buildings that we'll be going into. Another very well made building that stays with the property. This is underground. Obviously, you're going to see it as you come in. It doesn't have cold stuff in it right now. There was a lot of canning in there. That's all been cleared out, or primarily cleared out. Right now we have just other stuff. We just needed every room we could get to put product here. So as we come down the aisleway here, we're just going to do a quick scan. We don't want to show everything, of course. These are empty radio cases. You're going to find lots of radios in the sale, so don't be worried that you're going to have none. John Deere ride-on lawnmower. There's some attachments to go along with that one, including this sweeper here. There's some other stuff. In this room here, this is the cold room. So again, if you're in the market for a nice little acreage, this is a wonderful place. Look at how professionally done this is. Radios, these are tubes that are actually inventoried. Radio tubes, TV tubes, that sort of thing. They were in the radio repair business at one time. We scan around the room, you're going to see lots of other small portable radios. Lots of LPs in here, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. As we move on to the next room, you'll find out. Just showing another angle from on the property itself. It's not the best way to show you the property. It looks great. It's wonderful. With all the stuff and things that are in the way, it's a little difficult. But behind me, you got the big Quonset garage shop. This was the workshop. We're going to see inside that in a little while. All the tools. The house is that way to us. We'll see that in a little while too. Also in the sale, the Sportsman Quad. There's a trailer behind it. This trailer is not in it, so don't think that the holiday trailer's in. Nor is the car hauler behind here. But all these next implements that we're going to be coming up to, and this is all part of the property as well. There's all it was a potato farm and a U-pick farm over the years, so there's lots of implements to go along with that. Tillers and log splitters. There's 3 of these different mine carts in the sale. One of them we'll see later on in another building. These 2 right here that were used for decor. Very neat pieces. Definitely something you don't see every day. You'll recognize tillers and snow blowers, and there's the almost as new potato equipment here for a small potato farm. The in behind those tractors over there is actually the property that belongs to the farm that's being split off. So again, if you're interested in that, make sure that you look into that. There's a great farmland over there, and then of course the homestead or the acreage that will be left. We'll look on the website for the details on the tractors. You've got one with a loader, you got the 4 there, you got John Deere. There is assorted implements to go along with these pieces. We haven't cataloged yet. You can see that we're still in the mess. We're still in the cold weather. This is before Easter weekend that we're filming this. So hopefully come sale day it's going to be nice and warm and toasty. Everybody will be out here having hot dogs and slushies and wearing flip-flops, I hope. Inside the building here, the lean-to, there's a whole lot of firewood I assume will be in the sale. There's a lot of stuff in here that's not in the sale. So again, we're still in the throes of putting this together. But these furnitures are in, the conveyor is in. The trailer itself that was behind me is in the sale. The stuff on top of it is actually garbage. It's going to the dump. So That takes care of the upper level here. We're going to move into show you inside a couple of buildings. Behind me is the building you saw in the first shot, and this is the one of the buildings that are actually in the sale. It was brought here afterwards, so it's a very movable building. Again, look on the website for details. We'll get that posted when we have it. There's not a lot inside to show you, but a few neat things, some household. There's everything from Christmas decorations to cabinets to TVs. And again, just a little bit of collectibles. There's a treasure or two, and then some let's call it miscellaneous for lack of a better term. Everything from Proctor Silex mixers and pressure cookers and enamel pots and oven roasters and your general household stuff, some collectible, some just utilitarian. You're not going to have a hard time figuring out why we call this the radio room. I don't know how many there are in here, we haven't counted yet because we haven't cataloged, but as you can see, there's a lot. I'm sure some of them are working, some are restored, some are as is. You saw in another part of the video in the cold room where there was empty cases. None of these are empty cases that I'm wearing. These are all, you know, primarily full or complete radios. There's vintage, there's ham, there's FM, there's everything you can possibly imagine. Tabletop ones, floor standing ones. There's some clocks on the wall that you're gonna see. My favorite thing in the building. If you're bidding on that, you're probably bidding against me. And again, you get to see another piece of the property. This is another building, very well designed. We've got the fireplace in here. We've never turned it on or never put a fire in it, which is why we're standing here in gloves still a week before the auction. It's supposed to be spring, but it hasn't worked out that way. Some PA style speakers and equipment. Radios in front of me that you can't see on camera, but again, some good, neat, fun, probably useful to the right people, but even if not, it just looks manly in the office. And here's some stuff that is obviously been restored and so on. There's some neat, fun stuff like this that again, is it expensive? Not necessarily, but it certainly is a fun thing to have. There'll be lots of that to have in the sale. And you're still going to see some more gramophones and so on in more parts of the room. Obviously, we are now inside the main shop, if you will, workshop, Quonset, and we have filled it with, in fact, tools. Even stuff that wasn't in here before, that was in the other garage. There's stuff in the room here that isn't in the sale. This is just, again, this is garbage. There's some recycle in the middle, and then there's our bosses, our customers, Harley Davidson, and he won't let us sell that. But you're going to see everything from hand tools coming down the tables. There's fluids, brand new fluids in boxes, there's speakers in boxes, test equipment, battery charges, heaters underneath, gas cans. There is a couple of electric scooters. This one is virtually brand new and still has the packaging on it and so on. I think it was $4,000 not that long ago. And there's another one that's sort of a parts or a project piece over in the corner. There's a big multi-drawer, 4 drawer national cash register. So you can get all your employees on different drawers. We're going to sneak into this back room. There's a little bit awkward for the camera. More test equipment that has to do with fixing radios, television analysis, and all the rest of it. I'm sure there isn't too many people fixing TVs anymore, but there's fun stuff to have, again, in the man cave. Rototiller. Not even sure what's back there. We're not going to bother. There's electric motors. I don't think there's anything upstairs in this area now. There's some electric lamps down here. Some other pieces over there. We won't bother going that way. We'll go back out into the main room, show you some more tools. There is a little bit of everything in this sale. As you go through the video, you'll see. Over to this side over here, you've got retail scales. Again, some smaller ones like the Toledo fan. That's a good size for decorating your shop and whatnot. Adding machines, cash registers. There's newer Honda generator there. Some medium-sized equipment in the floor press, drill press, table saws, radial arm saw, little power hack saw, oxyacetylene, excuse me, arc welders, chainsaws, auger. You know, obviously we're not going through all of it. There's a bit of everything there. Scroll saw, routers. There's a shear here. There's a wood lathe, and there is a nice newer metal lathe here in the corner as we get back to the door and move on to the next building. I don't think it's every day that you can buy a neat old windmill like that one behind me, but next week you're going to be able to at the sale on the 26th. The dog in front of me you're not going to be allowed to buy, and I don't think he would want to leave the property, but maybe if you buy the property, he'll stay with the property with you. Behind me is, of course, now we're standing in the main driveway, and behind me is where we were filming before, the main Quonset shop. It's not the greatest day to be showing the real estate, etc., because it is such a windy, gloomy, rainy, snowy, blowy day. Welcome to spring in Alberta. Over here, there is some things that are in the sale. There's the statues and a gate and whatever else. I'm not 100% sure what's in and what's out, but for sure there's going to be some items there. As I mentioned earlier, this property was part of at one time a U-pick and fruit farm, etc. This was their building that they would sell from. These slide open or flip open. I think it flips open, and it's a retail station inside there. It should be at the sale as well. Don't quote me just yet, but you'll know as the catalogs start to get posted. We've set up a tent in the middle of the yard here to bring some of the household collectibles, glassware, and some of the pottery. You're going to learn why there's pottery that's local to the place in the sale. Little drum, there's some leather sofa and love seat back here. There's boxes filled with glassware and chalet glass and pottery and ceramics and all kinds of fun stuff that you'll be able to go through. Neat retro table right in the middle there. Okay. You'll see the fuel storage tanks beside me on the stands. They will be in the sale. And on the other side over there, should be in the sale, is a little barn-style shed. Again, that was built inside and should be quite movable. So I assume that one would be in the sale as well. This is the ceramics room or the kiln room, and you'll be able to see why. And there's a million glazes, ceramic glazes inside here. As the camera zooms out along that side, not sure right now how it's going to be sold. It's going to be in larger group lots, obviously, but we don't know exactly what yet. What will be in smaller lots, of course, is the equipment, and there is some decent sized kilns in here. There's one larger one that's actually a homemade one. You won't get to see that one on camera, but you'll see it at the viewing. There's a couple of spit potter's wheels here. There's some finished product in the sale that they had made on site here. Obviously, as you can see, the stations here, they used to do courses, classes in ceramics, and I'm not sure how long it's been since it was active, but obviously it was a very well laid out system. Here's a smaller homemade kiln here, and again, the quality of the workmanship that the fellow did to make his tools, equipment, fixtures, etc. is pretty much second to none. So you're going to have a lot of fun in this room as well. Behind me here is one of two of these types of cabinets in the sale. This is the first one. It's filled with ceramic glazes. Each one of these drawers, as is the boxes above it. The glazes, I'm assuming, will be one lot. This cabinet will be a lot by itself. They're neat. There's two of them. Off camera, there's sprayers and other attachments to go behind small tractors, quads, etc. Maybe some seeders and stuff. I'm not sure. The John Deere skid steer is in fact in the sale. Model 90. We've been using it around here to move snow and whatever. It works quite well. Another mining cart. We've seen one in before in another part of the room, or it was outdoors. And then just a multitude of different ceramic molds and other ceramic items. And you know, we haven't looked at them all. They'll be in larger lots as well. Will it be, you know, a dozen in a lot, or will it be 100 in a lot? I'm not sure, but come to the viewing and have a little bit of fun looking at that. There's lots of stuff, again, that is, in fact, off camera, pumps and sprayers and whatnot. Behind me you'll see the floor model gramophones. There's a few of them in the sale, some more radios as well. A Hydrodyne radio with external speaker. It's off camera, but it's there, trust me. Lots of small radios and so on. Tabletop gramophones, including the Edison cylinder style, and a Victrola 78 RPM. You're going to want to pay close attention to this one here on the Bakelite radio. This is a really neat one. Pay attention to that one. Tabletop model radios here. There's the one on the end is a new one to make to look like an old one. There's a laboratory scale there. They're always fun. As we go into this one room here, this was the room that they used for fixing radios and TVs, and you're going to find a cajillion resistors and capacitors and all the rest of it. So for those that are still fixing radios and so on, there's lots of stuff for you. This is the cabinet that matches the other one that we talked about earlier. This one, the cabinet will be one lot. In this case, everything inside will be a lot probably, and it's all tubes and tape and all the sorts of stuff for repairing and so on, radios and TVs and other hobbies as well. Again, used parts here. If you're into fixing radios and TVs and so on, obviously you know how invaluable that stuff is. This whole, again, you're going to be seeing large lots as we sell these items here. This back wall, not sure how it's going to be lotted. Again, once you see the catalog posted on the website, either of the websites, either wardsauctions.com, foothillsauctions.com, you'll know how things are going to be listed and lotted. Instruments for diagnostics and so on, lots of fun stuff there as well. And again, sometimes it's just to look cool. Books on radio repair, all your tech books and all the rest of it. So lots of fun stuff. This is the view from the backyard at the back of the house. Absolutely wonderful property. The video, I'm sure, is not going to do it justice at this time. It's the gloomy time of year, as you know. The snow's just melting. Everything's brown and dingy and dirty. And of course, it's a snowy day, so it's not going to do itself justice, but it really is a fantastic property. So do yourself a favor and take a look at it. I'm not sure exactly how many LPs, 78s, and 45s there are in the house, but I am sure that 6,000 is not an exaggeration. That first frame that you saw there was one big rack. Is it going to be multitudes of lots or one big lot? Not 100% sure. These are stacks on these tables. Obviously off camera is underneath, and that's all filled with LPs and 78s as well. There's everything. We have not gone through them properly insofar as to say what's going to be in each one. It's just not possible, but there is, you know, there's Rocky Burnett, the son of rock and roll. There's Alice Cooper. You're also going to see your stuff that you see in every estate, your Nat King Coles and your ABBA and whatnot. There's everything in here. Those are your LPs. The first frame was LPs. Underneath is a multitude of 78s and LPs. This is all 78s down here, and lots of them. There's just stacks and stacks of 78s, most of which are still in their envelopes, which is great. So you're going to find better condition than a lot of situations. The collector was pretty meticulous. Albums full. This whole table is all specific albums. There's jazz. There's Bing Crosby, songs of 1925, 26, 27, 31, etc. Eddie Hayward, Frankie Carl. There's these sets that are going on up here. And again, as we come up, 78s aplenty, in good condition primarily. Obviously viewing is important. You're going to want to know what is in each stack. Hopefully we'll get some good LP and 78s collectors, because there's a lot of them there. And once upon a time there was no such thing as politically correct terminology, toys, sayings, whatever. Back in the days when your wife met you at the door with her skimpy little outfit and a martini in her hand for you when you got home from work, that was exactly when something like this would have come out. This is Japanese made. Back in the day, Japanese electric toys were the better. And this is called the Nutty Mad Indian with War Whoop. And you know, you didn't mishear that. It's the Nutty Mad Indian with War Whoop. It's another one of the items that you're likely to be bidding against me for. Absolutely, completely politically incorrect, and I just have to have it. In front of me here is all 45s, 45 RPM records. Again, primarily in their covers still. You're used to going to auctions and finding the 45s, and they're all just slammed against each other, getting ruined. This is not the case in here. You're going to find a lot, en masse, you're going to find better condition 45s than what you see in most collections. So those that have vintage jukeboxes are going to want to make sure that they come to the sale and look through here. You're going to find a lot of treasures. I'm not going to go through it now, there's no point. But it just impresses me that we're finding a lot of them still in their sheets, because that's always been a bit of a bone of contention with me when you see collections and they're rubbing against each other, getting ruined. Over here, retro style lamp with the shade on it. A lot of the retro stuff is quite popular. This is one that I think will fit into that category of being popular. Over here we have very large light bulbs, and very small and very odd and very weird and very red and very knobbly on the top. They're fun, little collectible pile. Again, I don't think there's a lot of value necessarily, but they're neat. This whole section here is all 78s, all in their protective, between protective covers. This card file literally has every one of these 78s in there, graded. It's got the serial number on it. It's grading the songs, grading the condition, grading everything. Somebody has put a cajillion hours and a lot of love into this collection right here. We're going to sell this collection of 78s, as many as there are. I'm going to say 1,500 of them as one lot. And obviously, you get the index cards to go with it. So that in itself is a very impressive collection. So miscellaneous LPs and so on behind me. Again, as one lot is going to be, I'm assuming right now, so if something changes between us shooting this video and the sale happening, don't get all bent out of shape. It does happen sometimes, but the way it is right now, I think we're going to sell this whole CD collection all as one lot. And there's lots. There's, you know, you're not going to find anything brand new, but you're going to find a lot of reasonably newer and some vintage stuff in there. There's some cases of CDs down there. A nice glass. Quite a nice little vintage lamp. It's got a great look to it. I really like that one. And then we have the opposite of vintage. We've got your I'm assuming this is for your evil laboratory, and I'm not sure how it works. It's all very cool though. And I think that everybody needs one of these. So thank you all very much for watching. We'll hope to see you out again. It's on April 26th. It's on a Saturday. It's another week and a half away from filming. So hopefully the weather is completely different than what we're having today. Hopefully it'll be nice and sunny and bright, and it'll be fun. There'll be food to be had, etc. The viewing will be the day before on the Friday the 25th. Just call it the afternoon. I'm not sure if it's going to open at 11 until 5 or whatever, but if you just sort of say the meat of the afternoon, then you're going to be pretty safe. So if you have questions, don't be afraid to call. Go on the website to find the addresses and phone numbers and names and places and all the rest of it. wardsauctions.com and foothillsauctions.com. See you next week.